fun.
All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Swolecast. Today, we've got a pretty fun show. We've got Mr. Tuttle back. We got Pat Kerrane on the show. Also, we're missing one person, though, and that person is doing the thing that he does every week at this time, and that is looking at his phone and discussing his football teams. He's just not being paid for it at this time. I did go to Davis's wedding, though, over the weekend, and it was great. It was great. And I'm not sure about, he said no pictures, no movies, no content. And so I'm going to somewhat honor his wishes, but we do have to talk about a few parts of the wedding that were amazing. We're going to talk about Pat's flag football routes, and Tuttle is drafting a BBM3. All this next on the Swolecast from RotoGrinders.com.
Please don't dupe me, bro.
I'm begging you, don't dupe me, bro.
It's the poop narrative.
Kitchen's been waiting to say those words.
No.
For 5 years.
Welcome. Come on in. Everybody sit tight. It's going to be a fun show, an action-packed show. What are you looking at?
I was just trying to see who is that in the top right box.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have gotten professional since we had like the whole opening into the intro. That I have never experienced that before in my time on the Swolecast.
The times they are a-changing. So this is how we get on TV, basically. First of all, can you imagine this show on TV? Some of the channels that are at the doctor's offices and stuff. I think Davis is on one of those channels, and he has to be like super buttoned up. Can you imagine this show on one of those channels?
That also reminds me, we didn't even get to talk to Davis about his new coworker, Warren Sharp, these days too. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, Warren Sharp
breaking.
doing stuff with Sports Grid now.
Okay.
What? But Warren's also with RotoWorld too. He's on Roto. I mean,
I don't think
is he
so
pulling
anymore.
He's not.
I believe that deal expired or something.
Breaking news here. Warren Sharp is not helping to bring RotoWorld back.
I'm pretty sure I was on RotoWorld looking at blurbs today, and Warren Sharp was on there. So my
apologies to NBC and Warren Sharp if that's the case. I am a lowly fantasy football writer.
I love how we're breaking news. Also, I went to Davis's wedding, and I want to know, did he say no stories or no? I'm pretty sure that was just about the actual, his vows and stuff.
As I understood it, he just did not want to be embarrassed. So I believe if you can tell stories that don't fall in line of being embarrassing, it's fair game.
Good luck with that.
I mean, I feel like Davis's threshold for embarrassment is pretty high after everything.
Paint a scene for us, because all we've seen on Twitter is the photo of you, Dink, Leone, and Davis. That's the only kind of nugget.
That one.
Yeah, he posted it, and it was it got 500. Over 500 likes, and Holly's like, wow, because I said there's so much likes, and Holly mentioned to him, and he was like, oh yeah, totally engagement farming with that one. So I had to explain to Holly later what that meant.
How did Holly get along with the Davis gang?
Oh, so here's the thing. Davis in real life, his real life friends, and how he is with them, totally mimics him with his internet friends. He has a type as far as his friends go, and it was awesome. It was like,
what is this type?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Just handsome, taller guys that are pretty funny, that are not afraid to bust balls. So it's
Can
Kitchen,
How
did
do
you identify
account for
the?
your friendship? Hey, God, I was just trying to get in a really good joke there. It's all right.
I'm sorry,
That's the
I
word you're
delivered.
No, Pat, you Pat's my blocker. He's just like shutting it down.
Go ahead, Pat.
I was just curious if you identified the kitchen of that group.
Okay, you had the
Yeah,
same.
That was a
similar
good one.
joke
Yeah,
as
that was
me.
a good
Yeah,
one too.
Yeah.
Probably his best man. So
Okay.
his best man delivered an amazing best man speech. And it was really a roast disguised as a best man speech, but tied it up perfectly at the end. Mentioned just the absurdity of, and Davis said I could share this, that I guess Davis failed statistics 3 times.
Oh, no.
And just the absurdity that now Davis is like giving fantasy football advice
From a numbers-based perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense
so-
that he didn't understand absolutes real early on.
Exactly.
The probability was not in his vocabulary. It was,
I know we talked about the Johnny Manziel floor, but also Swolecast, a big hit with his real life friends.
Really?
Yeah, like shout out to them. Like they love the show. Like I don't feel like my friends watch this show.
I don't feel like that either.
Right, but shout out to them because I even saw them like kind of pointing, like, "Oh, there's Soccer Dave. Like there's Leone."
It would seem like Kitchen would go over there and be like, guys, you just want a picture. I would love
Yeah.
to take a picture.
So I started introducing myself as Soccer Dave. And yeah, so Davis, it was just like so full of joy. Like Davis was just beaming the whole night. Everyone was laughing. It was like one of those. I was on Liam's stream yesterday. I described it as like that kind of montage before something goes really wrong, where everything is like going just amazing, And so it would just think of that before anything like went really wrong. Nothing went.
Well, and
bad.
the thing that went really wrong is Davis wasn't able to fire at the Pomeranian 2 yesterday. That was that was the horror part of this story.
That was the horror.
But I felt like I was very under control. We kept it buttoned up. I found the Davis Matic rap from his SoundCloud and was ready to give it to the DJ.
The aux cable.
So that everyone could hear
Lil D,
Deshaun
right?
Jackson. Lil D. Yeah, it was Lil D. And but the song choices were not. I just like felt uncomfortable. Like I didn't want to ruin anything. I didn't want to ruin the vibe whenever that song came on, and I hadn't checked it for the words or anything else. But
hey, can I give a quick Davis memory since I wasn't able to honor him last week? I mean, I have many, but the one that just popped in my head is when I know he had me convinced. I think he had Kitchen convinced too that he had a little son named Terrence. Yeah. He had a son named Terrence for the longest time. Like
That's a good bit.
Yeah, it was a good bit. He's like, "Oh man, I gotta go take care of Terrence now." And he had me.
He did go through a phase, and they talked about his cornrows in community college, and it was just Davis was the butt of a lot of jokes, but it all kind of came back around to like what an amazing guy Davis is and how he just brings fun and energy to everyone around him. So it was a solid night. I do want to mention this. I'm not going to put it on Twitter, social media. This is just a nugget for the Swolecast fans because a Swolecast fan gave me this. And Davis sat us at a table with his high school friends. And so apparently his brand was not Davis Matic. And so if you have that clip, Davis was in the high school paper and his brand. All right, so take it off.
Yes. Oh, God. Bite-sized philosopher.
Davis called himself the bite-sized.
Oh, my God.
Was this high school or college?
It was high school.
Hashtag bite-sized philosopher.
My guess is he didn't give you permission to show that one.
Davis? No,
Yeah.
Davis did not. But this other guy knew that I told him I was going to take a picture of it of his phone. So I think he knew how much the Swolecast viewers would enjoy that. Like, imagine him just sitting on that, like, watch, because this guy had watched Swolecast for like since the beginning, and just imagine him sitting on this nugget for so long, thinking if they only knew.
Wow. The irony is, you would think the man who coined the term "live a little" would be the one that goes by the bite-sized philosopher right there.
Yeah, I know, right? They do kind of. There is some correlation there as far as bite size and living a little.
It's honestly, it's pretty good. It's pretty catchy.
Yeah. And then let's see. There was a guy there that was so fun. And Dink and Leone were there at the table. We're just talking like normal, and they're just kind of, listening in. We're talking about absurd things like Leone's bet with the basketball bet with Galen. Was it Galen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Galen.
Is it Galen?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do an entire thread about how to pronounce, NFL players' names, you need to know how to pronounce Galen. Yeah,
I just say
especially since it's the exact same thing, Glenn.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Pat. So anyways, was talking about his 3-point contest, and just, I guess, I don't know if this is public knowledge, but it is now, that Leone gave a third of his action to Dink that morning. Like, he woke up kind of scared, and he gave a third of his action to Dink. So Dink got just a free third of that.
So Dink's the one commentating on the video, and he is quite happy about Leone's performance.
So now you know. And so as we're talking about this, like, this guy, we kind of liken him to Cousin Greg from Succession. Tall guy who is just freaking hilarious. Maybe he's the soccer David Digger. I don't know. But
I like how your comp is now a Frankenstein of all the best characteristics of Davis's friends
and their best moments that night.
Yeah, that kind of reminded me of me. And then
yeah. So, anyways, he just like asked Leo. He's like, "How much was the bet for?" and then everyone just starts laughing, and then he's like, "How much money? How much money do you have?" Like, he
just wants to just see the bank account right there,
just doubling down. So it was fun. Then after that, we were just talking about like the Levitan bet with the frying pan and his bet coming up, and for people that are, again, just regular Joes not in this sick world that we're in, they just like, what in the world? So it was a fun time. Speaking of the Levitan bet, obviously, he won his other bet. I feel like this is the summer of Levitan. We've got, his brand, his personality, and he's not taking anything from anybody, whether that be a high stakes player or a tennis player. Levitan has no appetite for foolishness right now.
Dude, that reply back to Chad Schroeder was such a snap reply to a fairly innocuous comment.
That was the best.
Okay, there's history there, though, right? There's there.
So let's set
my take too. I was like,
let's set the table.
Reply.
Let's set the table. Everyone is underreacting or overreacting to every piece of news that comes out right now, right? And so Levitan puts, I forget what it even is about.
It was ETN,
but
ETN.
Yeah, ETN. Okay. And Chad gives him a like kind of a well, actually, there's nuance, everything, whatever. Well, instead of saying, you're right, Levitan just says heads up for rolls. You want to
straight heads up for rolls.
Yeah.
Like 10K. You want to cross book 10K on a season long bet, and then 10K every week in DFS.
He just tossed in the
just
DFS
hanging that
on top
dick
of
out
it.
there.
And by the way, if you want to play me in tennis, I'll use a frying pan.
But I mean, for me, I just got the popcorn. We need more of that. We need more. It's like the training, the training camp. There is, there's fights and little squabbles, and people getting sick and tired of practicing against themselves, and they just want like the season to start. Kind of feels like the same thing's happening within the fantasy industry.
Oh yeah, we had a pretty good subtweet of Sean Siegel on our ship chasing episode the other day too, and it feels good to get in the mix there and mix it up with the salty characters there.
It's like the scrimmages, the Panthers, the Patriots, everyone getting kicked out of the scrimmage today because they're actually able to hit someone that's not their own teammate.
Yeah,
it's literally what I just said, Pat.
No, you talked about practice. I'm saying we got to get the people scrimmaging.
Scrimmaging, yeah.
So who tackled Christian McCaffrey? I want to know.
Some rando.
Yeah. And then someone also threw a ball at Jeff Simmons, which is like a huge, massive man for the Titans. And it turns out that guy was not even a player. He was like director of operations or something.
And Traylon Burks had to go to the sideline after the long catch because he's out of breath.
Yeah, I really just think he was wanting to review the highlight of that catch.
Hey, have you guys? Do you guys watch Hard Knocks at all?
I watched the first one.
Don't spoil it.
Okay,
Twitter already spoiled them.
We were talking about getting fired up. The Dan Campbell speech was pretty good.
Dude, I knew he was a meathead. I guess I just didn't realize to what extent of a football guy meathead he is. He's like
a real life parody of football meathead guy.
So I'm actually a big fan of Dan Campbell. I enjoy his whole shtick. I don't know if you guys watched any.
I do, yeah.
There was Hard Knocks in season, and they did the Colts last year, and Frank Reich comes in like week 9, and he's got a copper pole, and he's like, this lightning hits it, it's grounded, it grounds it into the ground, and there's positive reactions and negative reactions, and we're coming off a loss. That's a negative reaction. We need to have when it hits, it's going to be positive now because we're grounded like this pole. Like this.
He's got to know his audience.
I take a Dan Campbell speech 100 times out of 100 over the copper pole be grounded speech.
Okay, question now. Would you let kids watch that? Because I may or may not have let my children watch Hard Knocks, and they were fired up. My non-sporty 9-year-old was like, I want to play football right now.
Yeah, you got boys.
Yeah.
I think they can handle it. I love that scene where he's doing up downs with the team for warmups. And was it the commentary like, shouldn't he be like trying to see who's working hard right now so he can make more informed roster decisions, but he just has to get in his up downs for his own personal workout?
All right.
I'm pretty sure you could have someone walk around and see if people are loafing.
Yeah. Or you maybe just roll the tape on the HBO cameras and you're good.
Tuttle, you're drafting a team. You want to fire that up now just so we can.
Yeah, this is
we
to set some background. I had to re-download Underdog, then finally got the location services to work so I could show this on stream. Threw $25 on there. This is going to be my only Underdog draft of the season. I just wanted the audience to see what it would be like to draft.
Did you use a promo code, Tuttle?
I mean, I was on there before.
Okay, all right.
But why would be my question. I see you in the alerts channel. You're grinding preseason NFL stuff.
Okay, I can tell you Landon McCutcheon just dominated last week in preseason. I can't tell you anything notable about season-long stuff.
I just feel like if you're grinding preseason games and blurbs and stuff, you should have some degree of edge as far as over the people that are not grinding that stuff.
I mean, I still know more than like the average Joe, but
I want to join so bad, but I'm not.
Pete over here, I mean, he probably has done like 500 drafts.
I'm not that sicko. I'm like 200.
Tuttle, you don't even have the Spike Week overlay.
Oh, they're laughing at my dark mode.
What would the Spike Week overlay say?
It would just tell them correlations.
Where am I? Okay, this is.
What's your username?
Is okay, I'm 12. Mr. Tuttle 05. I got the 12th pick.
So, the 12th pick. That's my range right there. It's I think that Pete took all of the Swolecast luck.
Yeah.
How do I do dark mode?
Every draft.
Okay, perfect. Easy.
So I was on Liam's stream, like I said, and we're just talking about all of his teams that he was drafting. And I'm like, why do you not have not even Spike Week, but what's the deal here? And he's like, I will never have a HUD overlay, basically. Like he's anti overlay. And I just felt like that was from a guy that's drafting so many teams and instead manually inputting his stuff. I feel like that might be a waste of his time. And so I told him that, and he said, hey, I'm just living a little. And when he said that, I literally had zero comeback.
He is such an interesting mix of like, obviously comes from a chess background, solving puzzles, like very analytical, but then he is also very much a feel-based player, just wants to live inside his own galaxy brain. I respect it.
Well, he is tracking what he's doing, right? He's just not doing it based on that.
Just in his high stakes leagues, and he's manually
Okay.
inputting everything. So,
Oh wow, these guys, this is going a little fast for me.
I'm
I'm not gonna be able to keep up with this. This is going a little fast, man.
Tuttle, do you have any sort of like? Do you remember how the drafts were from last year? Just so you know.
So like positional, it's pretty much 2 QB, 2 tight end. Maybe you throw one extra on one of those guys, and then it's like 6 and 7 on the others. So I know like lineup construction,
it just
correlation,
depends.
obviously.
If you
I'm not going to know this week 17 stacks. That's not going to be a thing with me.
What's your philosophy on ADP, Tuttle?
Just
Tuttle
live a
would
little.
be 100% be in my camp as far as
No way.
yes.
If
you
want to
be a
150
unique,
maxing, he would be an ADP, bro. Don't even try
No,
to say
Mostly at ADP, bro, for sure.
yes.
But so my question for you guys. So I did 2 $5 drafts yesterday, big roller, in preparation of this on DraftKings. I find myself, so if I set the stack up, I inevitably reach for the quarterback. If the quarterback's the last part and I have 2 pass catchers, you have to reach there, right?
Well, so says I. No says.
Oh shit, it's my
least
turn
Pete.
already. All right, we're not going Fat Najee. We're going CD.
All right.
You love it. Let's go. Tuttle off to a great start here.
All right. So he's got CD. I think
This is a
there's
classic spot.
no.
Choose
no.
your own
Oh,
adventure. Little
oh my
homer.
gosh.
Little
What a
homer.
So here's the thing.
What a homer.
Here's the thing. He's gonna get so much passing work. He really is. They're not.
I
Gonna
thought Dylan was the passing down back this year.
Get out of here. That guy's no. His quads are way too big for that sort of involvement in the passing game. He was a surprise last year in that sense, actually.
Is that the take, Tuttle? We're all trying to figure out who is the Packers wide receiver 1, and your answer is it's Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones, 100%. That is
it.
the take.
Yeah. How I don't think we've even talked to you since Dubes kind of came on the scene, Tuttle. How high are you on him?
Well, I made a rare tweet about none of us college football grinders are surprised because Dubs was just like tearing it up. All of us degenerates that were playing like the late night slate CFB DFS before the Hawaii games, like that he was just dominating with Nevada. So it's not all that surprising. I think he's talented, but I don't know. It's going to be hard. Like Pete said, Aaron Jones is the wide receiver 1 now.
Is it Dubs or Dubes?
It's Dubs. I always thought it was Dubes too.
I need to add that to the thread.
I'm fairly confident it's Dubs.
I thought we all wanted it to be Dubs, but it's actually Dobbs, and he never corrected
I think that's
people.
right. Yeah, he never corrected anybody.
Okay.
It's Dobbs. I looked this up yesterday. I thought
on my thread, I looked up all the names, including Albert O. And sad news to report, Pete, you are dead wrong about his pronunciation.
Who?
Albert O.
Oh,
You
I
say-
know. I've already
You say
taken the L on this.
Kui Boonham, which also the Denver Broncos media guide said the same thing. And I think that's how it got out. But it's
Okwegbenam?
Yes.
Yeah, it is
Look
tough
at this.
because I think I got like 90% of the way to right there. It's a tough one.
That kind of just rolled off your tongue. That was like that was impressive.
I've tried to
back
get it
into
down.
my shell. I'm back to Alberto after just confidently pronouncing it wrong for like 2 years now. I'm
On
back.
this show a couple weeks ago, you said like it was.
that was the joke of the summer.
I had
All right.
people in the replies of that being like, because I did it like phonetically, that they actually started to read it out loud.
Okay, so what are some of the worst case scenarios for brands out there? Pat, yours might be Albert O is really good this year after all the slander that you kind of
Well, I've sort of
all the shade.
I think I have like 7% Alberto right now, and then for most of the summer I've been overweight. So I've already been protecting myself against that one. For me, it's a fun way of talking about Greg Dulcich, who I think will be good down the line. But he's a rookie tight end, so we'll see.
Oh, so a little bit of a brand play where it's like a Debbie play where he might not be good this year, but you're using this avenue so that whenever he is good, people know that he's your guy.
Yeah, I mean he's a pass catching tight end who can get downfield. They took him with a day 2 pick. I think he'll be something, but we're looking at like probably the Cole Kmet timeline where 2 or 3 years from now we're actually excited to draft him.
Pete, what would be worst case scenario for your brand?
It seems like it's been kind of taken on a life of its own that I have 0% David Montgomery and BBM3. And it's a bit of an anomaly because I have pretty smooth out exposures. Like even the guys I'm down on, I generally have like 4% of, and I have 0% David Montgomery. So that would ruin me if he's the guy you need from a lot of different perspectives.
Yeah, I feel like though that's not really a hot take, right? Like that's like there's lots of people
saying 0%, which I'm also 0% David Montgomery, so I'm right there with you.
But the thing about the hot takes on the like flyers, like Pat with the Dulcich, I would say the closest thing I've been on record saying, Benjamin is this year's Rashad Penny. I take him in a ton of drafts, but it's like if Benjamin doesn't hit, no one's going to be like coming with pitchforks for me,
Yeah. Big like the Kenneth Walker news yesterday. That was tough.
It's gonna be fine. It's just a small hernia. Okay, I actually have no idea what to do here because they just took.
Okay, we can't even see your screen really.
This is the most narrow draft board I've ever seen.
Well, what the fuck? You guys?
This is Tuttle's. Tuttle's got one of those.
Is that better? I'll like zoom in and shit.
Here, we can figure this out after you make your pick.
All right, I'll take. Well, I got 2 now. I'm taking ETN because Alpha Dog Levitan says that's not.
Well, actually,
why can't I zoom in?
Tuttle, you want a cross book?
Oh, there we go.
Take Waddle like an alpha.
Fuck, no, Waddle sucks. What? I kind of want to do a really beta move and own the libs with Zeke here, but I'm not going to do it. I can't do it.
You can do whatever you want to, but you got to do it quick.
Okay, I got to do Waddle. You're right.
Wow,
it's the move. I'm not.
Why are you guys out?
What is the 7
Waddle?
Silva here?
I don't.
I wanted DJ Moore.
He's
DJ
the guy
Moore is such
that
an
you.
alpha.
Yeah.
He's the guy left at the bar at 2 a.m. You just kind of got to take because maybe ADP, but like something has to happen.
It's like 3 metaphors there.
Guy you maybe have to take because of ADP.
First time watching the show, Pat. But yeah, he's. But like, he's the second receiver. For this offense, we don't know what's gonna happen to. So something has to happen to Tyreek for him to pay off where he's going.
I don't think that's true.
I don't know that that's true. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys like taking.
I don't trust Tua.
The second wide receiver in the 4th round. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
You guys fading highly explosive first round picks that are awesome as rookies?
Waddle was really good as a rookie. I mean, that's fair.
As someone who has loads of T. Higgins, I actually love to take second wide receivers in the 2nd round.
All right. Pat, what were you doing this past weekend? I was at a wedding. Pete was at a wedding. You were invited to Davis's wedding.
I was. My girlfriend was not able to make it, which put me in a bit of a bind. I ended up going to the Fantasy Expo, missing Davis's wedding, which was a bummer.
Fantasy Expo, baby.
Fantasy Expo. And
so how was the Expo? How was the Expo? How many people were there?
I mean, there was a lot of people there. I don't know. I didn't get a head count or anything, but it seemed pretty.
were there a lot of virgins there?
But it wasn't. Was it like a trade association thing where there's a lot of people you already knew, or were there a lot of Joes? It wasn't just all the pros.
It's a lot of pros. It's a lot of it's like a lot of industry people, which is cool because you get to meet people.
Well, that's kind of what the what the FSTA stuff was, because people wouldn't even go to they wouldn't pay for the conference. Like they would just go and hang out while it was going on, and then at night, kind of crash the trade association party. So it's awesome that the content people have a way to hang out. I saw where Ray tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
Playing flag football. What was the flag football game? Set it up.
Well, so it's on the fields, the Hall of Fame field, and some people were in like legit uniforms. Curtis Patrick's guys had like these like awesome uniforms that they put together.
Those were the RotoViz.
Those were the RotoViz.
Uniforms?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he went outside the RotoViz family to get some ringers.
He did. Everyone on their team was like just wide and like thick. It was like, good God, man. This flag
I didn't get an invite.
Yeah, it was an impressive group. But yeah, we did not have a long run. Our team, Denny was our quarterback because he had injured his knee, and as it turns out, it is helpful to have a healthy knee, because if you do not, you can't get much on the ball. And threw an interception on the very first play, which led to a quick loss for Team RotoWorld.
So who was on Team RotoWorld? You, Diddy, was Pat?
Me, Denny, Pat, Eric Proton, Lawrence Jackson, Kyle Dvorak.
Oh my! And what position were you playing?
I was playing wide receiver. I was asked to get deep and draw coverage on that route, and I did my job. Pat came open deep after the first read. Lawrence was double teamed. That allowed a nice window for Denny to zip the ball into, but he did not zip it in. He floated it in.
Guys, I'm on the clock here.
Little sun god here. Little hard knocks.
Yeah. See, that's the issue. So Waddle doesn't suck, obviously, but I have a bias. I'm kind of like Davis. I have a bias against these small dudes. But whatever.
It's easy to
Dan
stack.
Campbell's going to make him a star.
It's easy.
And what's the update on Dobbins' injury? I think Dobbins is the next.
Yeah, you can.
God, he's fine.
I think he's fine. Yeah, 6th.
Yeah, whatever.
The beginning of 6. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like he was going as high as the 7th and 8th.
People were incorrectly off of David Montgomery like the past 2 years when he was like the workload, but Herbert's the guy now, right? Well, not the guy, but like his workload's actually threatened this season.
I think so.
It looks that way.
My bags say that's exactly what's happening.
Ooh, Herbert, baby.
We got Drake London on down there. What's your take, Pat, on Atlanta this year?
So I like Kyle Pitts a lot. And I feel like you're getting, potential DK Metcalf type breakout with tight end eligibility. So that seems pretty sweet. Drake London is like a little more expensive than I would prefer, but I am taking him. I was taking a lot of Algier, but I haven't heard really much buzz on him. It seems like that could take longer than you want where he's going. So I've cooled off a little bit on him. The offensive line, I think, isn't going to be very good. I worry about Mariota because I think he could get benched.
Mariota.
Yeah. Okay. Mar because he's bad, right? So that kind of helps.
He mars you.
He mars you.
You don't want to marry him. Yeah.
That was a Trey Lance reach right there, right?
I mean, at this point, if you want Lance, he's not coming back at the end of the 7th.
That's true.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with Mariota, because Dink and I were talking about our love for him, and then Dink said Leone is not on him at all. And I said, why, Leone? Why are you not on? And of course, the wives and girlfriends love this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, because I don't think he's going to be playing in week 10. And I said, well, what if he is playing in week 10? What would that mean? And he said,
What if he's the guy you need, is what you said back to him?
What if?
And he said, well, then that would mean that he would have been pretty good. And then Dink and I just looked at each other, nodded our head, and went back to eating our meal. So
sounds like Leone really dropped the ball in arguing for that situation there.
But aren't there scenarios where Mariota is fine, but they are just the season's lost and they throw on Ritter the last couple of weeks to see what they have?
Sure. But like that's a what if scenario, Pat. Like I'm drafting the guy who's starting quarterback with wheels, and you can get him in the 17th or 18th round.
You got to think through the playoff weeks, don't you?
But
you should also start drafting more Sammy Watkins, Kitchen. I bet he gets off to a fast start too.
Well, no, if we're saying if like we're doing that, then are you drafting Ritter then? If that's your thesis?
I have been tacking a lot of Ritter.
I'm not actually drafting a lot of Ritter because I think Ritter stinks.
Oh,
well,
I cannot
actually
play both sides.
I think you can because I had an article come out on good old Roto World yesterday about best ball quarterback strategy, and the issue with Ritter is that you're probably taking so many zeros from him that he's going to crush your advance rates. But then, maybe if you get a Ritter team through, he could be the guy you need. But I don't. Yeah. But it just might ruin the Mariota teams and not really help many people.
Mariota teams.
Pat, even as I know preseason, yada yada, but he looked pretty good in his first game, and mainly the fact that he did so much rushing as well, I thought was encouraging.
Ritter or Mariota?
Ritter.
Yeah,
Mariota.
They both did.
Yeah.
No, but Pat's been way more down on Ritter as a prospect overall.
I have been down because he hadn't been very good under pressure, and he's not very aggressive as a thrower. But yeah, if he gets in there, he'll run. Like I'm more down on him from like a can he beat out Mariota type of situation. I think he'll be fantasy viable for sure if he plays.
So how much Malik Willis do you have, Pete?
I need to get more. I think I only have like 1%.
Guys,
I've done lots of Ritter and Pickett as QB3s and not enough Malik.
Yeah. I guess Willis over Pickett right now. Let's see. Who you got, Tuttle? You got 3 and 3, right?
Yeah.
Do not draft Antonio Gibson. That guy is
he's water boy now, right?
You can get your Cowboy stack here pretty clean.
Yeah. Yeah, Dak.
Like that.
I guess that
taking
makes sense.
Ramondre here.
Nobody else is really.
Ramondre, CEH.
Miles Sanders isn't terrible.
You guys buying the James
what's the
White
Miles
stuff?
Sanders take? I'm buying some time. I'm going to take the Dak stack, and then somebody give me some take on these running backs.
Miles Sanders' take is that he's not going to see special down passing work.
Yeah, we're Team Ramondre, I think.
I would say if you don't want to do a 3 tight end build, I would take one of Hawkinson or Goddard.
Yeah, did you take
You already have a
Amon-Ra?
Lion, right?
Yeah, if you take Amon-Ra, then take Hawkinson.
Yeah. Good call. Look at this. This is awesome drafting with you guys.
Yeah, and the difference here is that we're like actively trying to help you, whereas if Davis was on this show and I was drafting,
we're getting those
he would just be
stacks.
like waiting for the bomb to go off.
If Davis was here and you were drafting Kitchen, he'd be snarkily commenting Pete like he doesn't even know about this correlation.
Well, Kitchen would have forced Traylon Burks right there,
Well,
like without a doubt.
It all
not
has
in
to
the
do.
8th. No.
Kitchen comes into draft and acts like he's solved the game of best ball. Tuttle comes in and says this is his first draft he's done and is asking for help. It's a little different tenor to the conversations.
I do notice a little bit of a different tenor.
Yeah. Yeah. Calm down. So, Tuttle, if you're trying to win a large format best ball tournament, how would you do it?
I would just play the best guys personally. Just take
no correlation, no stat.
No, I think there's something I mentioned. The important things are correlate. I think it's fairly easy. Like the important stuff, roster construction, correlation, much more important than actual players. And then just hope to get lucky from there. Essentially,
You said roster construction, correlation, much more important than the actual players.
Yes, I agree with, because that's what I said.
So you would maybe take a value in a draft because.
No, I'm thinking he's saying he would rather the correlation, even if it meant a little bit of a sacrifice on a round of 80.
Well, how much sacrifice are we talking here?
We're at 1 or 2 rounds, whereas, these two right here would just be fainting at the thought of a player around too early.
That Dak pick was kind of early, right? I mean, not around early, but that Dak pick was potentially. A little
Yeah,
early
and
and they
Peter's itching
advocated
like
for it.
underneath the camera. Like
I'm just touching something after the start by Tuttle. It's a pretty nice build he's got going.
The solo, this is the only bullet I'll have all year.
Be a great story. I mean, I think there was the poll on who everyone wanted to see win.
Yeah, it was last
Bestball.
place. What
Yeah,
the fuck?
That's
I
your
think
own
after-
doing, Tuttle. That's your own
Yeah.
doing because you weren't on the show to add to what you were. Now Davis is on every single show except for this one, and he was in second to last place. So he was really the last place.
The best thing you could do, Tuttle, coming out of this stream to like boost your odds in future polls like that would be to come up with some kind of pithy slogan a la live a little that is reflective of how you feel about best ball strategy as a whole. That would do wonders.
Combative and pithy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or people enjoy Tuttle because of the way that he strategizes on how to take down tournaments. Obviously, he's won some GPPs in the past. And Tuttle, did you do that by taking the guys with the highest ownership, or did you do it by trying to get a little unique with your builds?
We've already talked about how
you
this
can
analogy
win
doesn't-
GPPs with some high owned guys in there, Dave. You know that, right?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you're talking to a guy who loves to min cash. I love to min cash with. So I'd say there is a strategy to living a little.
Well,
in
from an
your
ownership
season.
perspective, isn't reaching for your guys like almost kind of eating the chalk because you're getting less. You're less likely to then get a low owned.
No,
we've tried this line of thinking. It does not
eating the
work on
chalk.
him.
I don't think you're going to be able to.
It's creating a unique lineup, Pat, because you're not
foregoing the chance to create a better.
You're not
unit.
eating chalk with every pick. You're creating a unique roster to try to win where there's a 500,000 entries.
Okay, hold
All right,
up.
yeah, sure. If you're scooping value with some reaches in there, I'm with that.
It's my pick, guys.
Okay.
And I'm completely unready for this one. We're talking about reaching a little bit. I know nothing about the guy. Somebody talk to me about Jalen Tolbert.
I prefer Wilson over
on the
Tolbert.
board. Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh gosh,
like
I'm gonna
it's
autograph.
We could have just had one of you guys on. You're both like saying the same thing at the same time.
But I get 2 picks. Let's remember this. I do like Rondell though too.
Rondell, I think, is a great pick. Yeah.
All right.
Kitchen.
Yeah, we're not going to force because I agree with you guys. We're not going to force that Tolbert pick. And
Rondell's
probably
the
getting
exact
overdrafted anyways.
Rondell's my point, Tuttle, is to draft high ceiling guys and don't care. Like you're drafting them based on what you think they're going to do. Your lineup tells a story, and you're not shying away from them because they are around earlier too. Especially with you with the 12th pick, there's going to be some guys that go in these next 22 picks that you would have to reach on to get your guy if you think that they are going to be one of the top plays.
I think that the failure in your premise, Kitchen, is assuming that Tuttle has his guys. He seems pretty agnostic to the entire player pool right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Hey, did you guys see Garrett Wilson, who we just drafted? Did you see him hyping up Joe Flacco the other day?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
He was just commending him. It was almost some subtle shot.
This is where Tuttle grinding preseason it pays off because we have had zero mention of Flacco on the show until now.
Well, no, he was just saying how nice of a ball Flacco threw. He knows the different angles essentially to make it easier for a receiver to catch. Where it sounds like Zach Wilson maybe does not.
So I've read it. I didn't hear it, but it had a tone to me as I read it. Where he was like, yeah, it's a little different. It's a little different. And he's like, he makes it easy to catch. I'll put it like that. It's like,
he didn't want to throw him under the bus, but he basically did.
Yeah.
When Wilson went out, what were you doing, Pete? Because I know that he was one of the guys that you were able to stack with all the value.
What the hell is this question you're asking?
When he went down last week, What was
Oh,
your
Zach
initial
Wilson.
reaction?
Did you
Yeah.
cry for your bags?
Yeah, well, first of all, Kitchen, I'm so glad you asked. I'll never forget where I was when I heard that Zach Wilson was going to be out 2 to 4 weeks and that the surgery went great. I mean, it really rocked.
Well,
my
no,
world.
it was not that. I'm talking about the initial reaction.
Kitchen, I don't even have that much Zach Wilson. I don't even know if it registered as a blip on my busy days radar.
Well, I thought you were big on the jet stacks this year because you were able to get Wilson at Wilson.
I don't know what you want me to say. I got
Goff.
down on my knees. There was gnashing of teeth. I was screaming at God, why me? Why would you do this to my bags?
Yeah, you know Wilson was the one guy left I could correlate and properly stack on my value teams. So,
He does slide really late. I noticed that. In drafts.
Just keep Mac Jones upright, please.
Mac Jones, Daniel Jones, Goff, and Zach Wilson. And
Now I need to go see how much.
I had more
Wilson
Zach
I have.
Wilson than I thought. I will say, for the reasons Kitchens mentioned, I was like, I guess I did that backdoor stack.
Yeah, because he was
a little more.
because that was one of
Alright.
the late stacks you could do.
I'm 11%. You're right.
Yeah.
In all my value teams, he's the guy I am.
I knew it. I knew it.
There goes Albert O. Say the name, Pat.
Okuigbunam.
No,
No, that's
I messed
fine.
it up. See, I did.
Yeah.
You made me do it again. I couldn't do it.
Aquabenum.
Aquabenum.
Quabenham? I don't know
Quabenham.
about that. I'm almost
That's
on the
Lake
clock.
Jarwin.
What are we setting up here?
So the guy you asked me about brand guys, my biggest brand guy is still on the board. My highest owned player on Underdog right now.
Oh,
There's the
I
Nico
see.
Hardman after getting injured. He just got taken.
Don't
Tuttle.
draft Spiller because Spiller's not the guy
what's
you
the brand
want
guy?
these days.
Rashad White.
And I would say Tuttle after passing on Tolbert, I would get the double stack with Gallup. There with
Yeah.
Dak.
What's the timetable on his return?
He'll be fine.
I don't know. This seems a little bit of a force, right?
Fine.
I'm not
Who
thinking-
needs- man.
Who needs Twitter doctors when you have Kitchen saying he'll be fine?
I
He'll be
love it.
fine.
Kitchen, you gotta like put on scrubs and do updates. Like we gotta put that. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Well, Tuttle's like
shoot.
the biggest anti-doc out there as far as like he does not like Dr. Chow at all.
Ciao. We're going
So-
Rashad White because that was what was touted to me. There's somebody else I kind of liked, but I forget
You
who
should
it
have
was.
waited for
You don't want to do the
Deshaun.
Gallup stack?
I want Dotson.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
All right. From the
He-
guy
he
who
won me
brought
some
you
college
live a
football
little
money.
comes, he'll be fine.
He will be fine. Are you concerned at all about
I'm not. I actually
where he's
am
being
not.
drafted in
I
the
just thought
12th
there-
round?
I thought there was going to be some kind of reasoning or logic to why, like you read a report, his rehab
Yeah,
was
no,
going,
he's
but he was
healing
just
fine.
He's healing because he's healing, Pete.
He's healing. Has he suffered any setbacks, Pat?
I've not heard of any setbacks.
Exactly. So he'll be what?
He did seem to be completely out on the idea of being able to play week one. That didn't seem great.
You want him to be rested and fully 100%. You don't want him to try to play when he's not ready. He'll be fine. This is best ball. You're not drafting for week one.
That's right.
You guys
You
cannot
just-
be saying you can't take Mariota because he's not playing week 10 and then say you can't take Gallup because he's not going to be playing week 1.
Kitchen,
When is he expect? Do we actually have news on when he's expected back?
it doesn't matter, Tuttle. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
There he
Why are
goes.
you
Right
worried
there.
about it? You're not drafting him for week
Quit
1.
worrying.
No, you draft.
He's your
Marcus
sixth wide
Mariota.
receiver on the board. If
Yeah.
if you're counting on him to provide a top 3 or top 4 score on your position in week 1, then your team's already toast, is what I was told.
So I need to put somebody like a tad bit better than Jared Goff as the guy that's going to get auto drafted if I miss a pick here.
Yeah.
Because I almost missed that Rashad White pick, and that would have been Goff as pretty early pick there. I'm sure
Hey,
you
we got
guys have all
receivers.
your rankings set up and all that. You don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I guess you could do Tua. You could,
There's
do the
one
Tua
terrible
water thing.
drafter in this that keeps reaching. He just took Donta Foreman.
Ooh,
Ooh. Dante
Ew.
and that
Didn't he just take
that's-
it? Isn't that what just happened? Where are we? Yeah, Donta Foreman. He's third string, right?
This
That is a
never
bad
happens
pick.
in my drafts. This is bullshit.
Well, I'm gonna get the collusion refund or whatever.
Yeah, you're gonna do one draft and have it not count.
Yeah, I can't even win my. How
Tyler
much do I
said
get when I
Gallup
win this?
ACL in January. He'll be fine. LOL. Tyler, do you not know about modern medicine? ACL injuries can be basically cleared up in like 4 months now.
I just thought of an awesome content idea for Underdog. So you have Judge Redman, and he films like these little short videos where he throws out drafts where he comes in Deontay Foreman in the 4th round, dismissed. I'm picturing a green screen jury.
I mean, he's basically Derrick Henry, to be fair, but
It's true.
Yeah, like I could see the upside, but you could get
there's
him
the
around
Isaiah
two
Pacheco.
later.
Pacheco, speak to me about Pacheco, guys. He's the one that's setting my Twitter feeds abuzz.
There was
Yeah.
a minute where you could still get him in the 16th, 17th. I got a little taste of that post hype train, but
Same. As
13th
soon as I
feels a
saw he
little-
was running with the ones.
Yep.
Got him. How much Rojo do you have, Pat?
less every day, Kitchen.
Well, so I didn't really think about this, but Liam mentioned this scenario where he gets cut from the Chiefs,
Yeah.
but then he signs on with another team. So
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's
you
the
could see
story
him
we
being-
tell
he could be
ourselves.
Foreman.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I actually mentioned he could be the foreman, just out of football for a few weeks, and then if a team desperately needs a running back, he's the guy.
You know the perfect fit, absolute perfect fit, and this isn't a bit. New Orleans Saints. Let's get Rojo to the Saints.
That'd be fun.
Are you buying the Michael Thomas hype, Tuttle?
Slant boy hype.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's good. I agree with the. I mean, and now he's got Jameis. I think I agree with the take that Drew Brees was completely washed towards the end of his career, and he couldn't throw the ball further than 20 yards down the field. So how is Slant Boy going to have, run any other routes where he's actually going to get the ball? So I'm on board with the Thomas hype.
All right, coming up on your 13th and 14th round pick.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing here.
You got a 1-4-6-1 build. Really, you could take anybody here.
I'm going golf later, so if there's a tight end that stands out, I don't.
This is a pretty flat tier for tight end, but
Yeah.
you might miss the end of it if you don't grab one of them here.
what's Tunyon's ADP?
Like
on here?
Everett and Higbee are always normally nice picks.
John
in
New.
this range.
I think we can shoot. I think we risk it and we wait.
Okay. It's
And
because you're an ADP bro, and that's why we love you.
I was gonna go Wandell is what I was gonna do though. So
I
now
was
I'm
I
gonna
like
not.
suggest
that.
one day.
That you just got sniped.
Yeah.
no.
What are our
Yeah,
thoughts with Robbie? Can Baker hit Robbie?
He's getting a little hype.
I think I prefer Landry to Robbie, but
Oh, that is
All right, I'm
such
gonna
a
I'm gonna do the
take
reach
right
thing
there.
for the quarterback that we don't even have yet. I'm gonna go Jamison Williams here
okay,
as
I
one
like
of the
it.
picks.
That's an
And-
outfield play. That's a go get your guy play.
Yeah, that's a go get your guy.
him.
I just cannot believe the reaction by Pete here. Oh, that's a go get your guy play. Where
like
if I made
Landry
that
versus
play,
I'm going Robbie. I'm
No,
sorry, Pete.
I'm still
sorry.
tilting that you're acting like Robbie is some exciting alpha play compared to Jarvis Landry.
no, you saying
I told you I don't like the slant boys.
All right, that's fair.
I'm with you. And Pete trying to win $1 million by drafting Jarvis Landry, it just seems counterintuitive.
Well, the counter would be that we have
Just draft
lots
David
of-
Bell later on in your drafts.
Wow, Art Kitchen with an arbitrage suggestion here. I like
And
it.
a pretty good one. Pretty good.
Yeah,
arbitrage
Thank you,
suggestion.
Pat.
Ah, he's
What
really
am I? I
coming
don't
into
even
his
know
own.
how many people I've picked. So
The guy does
I'm
2
set on
drafts.
wide
All of a sudden,
receivers.
he's full of ideas.
Wow.
Stop it. Two public drafts. I've been doing. I'm up to like over 50 now.
All right.
Basically, Pat, have you ever made what's the farthest you've made it in a best ball tournament?
Well, Pete asked me on specifically because you guys have a rule apparently that you have to have someone who hasn't made one of these finals on
Yeah,
the Swolecast. So here I am.
that was a good response, Patrick.
What's the Jets running backs? I keep seeing Michael Carter. Like, just somebody tell me.
That's who Pete's
Breece
targeting
Hall,
now
Michael
that he's
Carter,
packed all of his
tell me
Breece
this
Hall
stuff.
bags.
Yeah, Pete, he's still not a 3rd round pick. You gotta
Yeah.
tout him a little more.
I gotta pump my bags harder.
I'm done drafting him. But he's really good. You all should draft him now.
You can draft him now.
I mean, you guys should all be willing to draft a guy around cheaper than I did all summer. Around more expensive.
Oh man.
I'm not gonna lie, Tunyon is who I wanted at tight end. A little bit of a homer,
You
but
should have reached then, Tuttle. You should have reached. If you wanted, this is my whole thing. If you wanted him, you should have taken him. And
I reached on Jameson
ADP.
because that fit lineup construction, right? Like, I'm not reaching on guys just because I have a take on them.
Maybe
What's the update on Tunyon's recovery?
He's back at practice.
Back practicing, yeah. I'm just running with a theme that we don't know what the hell is going to happen in Green Bay. I'm fairly confident Aaron Jones is going to be like wide receiver 1 or 2, but after that, I think it's like who knows what's going to happen.
So he'll be fine.
So as we're waiting, I mentioned that best man story. So a few people had bagged on Davis's tattoo selection, which you guys would appreciate. Tuttle, we were actually there in his live together, die alone tattoo days from Lost. But he's got a tattoo on his chest. Do y'all know what it says?
No.
It says "Love conquers all," basically.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah. So, his best man, shout out to Rhett, basically was talking about this, and at the end, his advice to Sarah, he said, or to Davis's partner, he said, "I just give you 3 words of advice: love conquers all." And then just ended it, and everyone just was standing up and elated, like it was amazing. It was an amazing best man speech.
Is that when he reminded you of yourself?
Yes. His delivery, like, this guy's good. And actually, I went up to him afterwards. I was like, that was an amazing best man speech.
It was classic kitchen.
I promise this was his response. He said, "You think it's good enough to be on the Swolecast?"
Wow, that was actually an audition to be on the Swolecast. Kitchen, how do you think there's no reality in which Davis would ever have asked you to give a speech at a wedding, but would you have relished that assignment to give a speech?
100%. Yeah. But I would have pumped him up, though. I would not, I would have done more pumping up than tearing down. There's the class, all the classics were used, the short jokes, the the tattoos, the long hair, fantasy, the football, so all that was used. But I would have hit the highlights, not the lowlights.
Were there any public? Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say, were there any public Davis drafting on his honeymoon jokes, or did that stay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, the best man from the Swolecast, he heard the Swolecast show, and so he brought that up in the best man speech, and
I would have looked right at Sarah.
Did not know, and she looked at him, and Dave was like, "What? But Davis was also playing along with every joke mentioned.
Okay, I missed the tight end tier, guys.
Yeah.
Someone
you gotta wait.
Sure did.
I had to get Robbie Anderson. What can I say?
Yeah.
So I'm taking Jared Goff. Need that.
Yeah.
What is it, tight end?
Brevin Jordan, Austin Hooper.
Yeah. Hooper. Hooper was targeted the first 2 times on today's 2-minute drill by Tanny, so it could be
Hooper's not a bad backstop. I do Hayden Hurst as a backstop as well.
Hooper's already taken.
I'd go Jonnu,
I guess.
No, Hoop's already taken. Tuttle, you got to pick someone.
Go to the
Hurry,
tight end.
or else you're gonna get.
Oh no!
Go to the tight end.
Oh my god!
9 receivers. Oh god!
Oh, your only bullet too.
Why do you refuse to use the positional tab?
Oh my god!
I need a
Unbelievable.
quarterback or tight end, so he features the view that has just
He just searches for Hooper. Well, Hooper's gone, so I'm out of ideas.
I
Oh
missed
my
the
God.
Hooper pick. I should have
right.
gone Brevin.
All right. Do you have a heart out, Pat?
Throw it out of here.
I do, but not yet.
Okay. Pat, any more interesting tidbits about the RotoWorld staff or contracts floating out there?
Yeah, tell us how the Barry deal got done, Pat. I know you know all the details.
Yeah, there's some interesting. We're actually over on the NBC and NFL and NBC YouTube channel streaming all day today. That's why I have a
Yeah,
heart out.
it's the draft day.
Draft day. Yeah, so I'll be drafting with Gretsch and with Daigle, doing a mock draft over there at 3:15.
Very nice.
How did your
Yeah.
fight pod go with Daigle?
It went well. We've had 2 of these now, and I've won both. So it tells you a little bit. I think.
Who's
Starting
the
to see.
judge?
So Pete and Leone judged it last year, and I don't know. I mean, that was clearly a mistake by Daigle to let those be the judges. So that one was an easy victory for me. Also, it turned out that I was right about most things. And then this year was Denny, and I got Denny. Denny did not agree with my Darrell Henderson pro argument, but then I got him to side against a bad player in Zach Ertz, which was nice. And then I actually won the argument with Rashad White.
Oh, went to your specialty there.
That's right.
Very nice. We should have a fight on this. Pat, can you talk about Dave's takes? Worked into your recent articles. Didn't see any of his tweets in the articles.
No, yeah, I didn't. There's so much great stuff.
Yeah.
You can't get it all in.
Pete, have you mentioned Live a Little at all in the Fantasy Life newsletter?
Dave, I haven't.
Big mistake.
Partly, yeah. No, I think Pat would have considered embedding one of your tweets in, but there's kind of this human psychology thing. When you see only 3 likes on an embedded tweet, you kind of discredit it.
I love how Pete's thing is now Twitter shaming me when I'm the one who is like begging people to get him to 10,000 followers. And now he's just negging me on the regular. So
I'm going to turn notifications on for you, Dave. That's the least I could do as a branch from your tree.
Dink used to do that, and he used to like insta like every tweet, and it would just like make me feel so good. And I feel like he at some point has turned them off.
You know what? I am full stop unironically going to turn on notifications for you, Kitchen. I think we all should.
Let's go.
I just want it to be known that, Kitchen, if you were to make an actual tree of your fantasy tree, and put that on a t-shirt, I would buy that as some Swolecast merch. That would be delightful.
I thought about that when Jordan Case was there. He was actually in the wedding, Tuttle. So
Nice.
he's with Underdog now, but he was definitely in the tree.
Was this the guy that you and Davis were debating on whether he was from your tree or not?
Yeah. And like I staked him. It was like 1K on Draft Street for like some sort of college sports thing at one point, and he just he totally freaked out. But he was our college writer. Tuttle can attest to this.
Hey guys, I knew Brevin Jordan was going to be here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You got to give the value hound howl, Tuttle.
Brevin and Eno will grow was our final.
I
two.
love it.
That's not that bad of a team. All right.
So let's recap your team, Tuttle.
I'm trying to. I don't even know how to zoom out to see the
Bless your
team.
heart.
People will
Go to the
cry
board.
Yeah.
because I'm zoomed out and now I can't.
You're right. It's probably because you're old school 860 resolution, pixel resolution.
If you
monitor
click your
you have.
team on the draft board above, it should bring up the whole team.
All right, I gotta zoom out.
Tuttle, is your monitor square or is it widescreen?
There we go. It's wide. It's like
Okay.
a 20. I don't know, but not big enough. But all right, so we got
You're
CD,
about to
Aaron
say
Jones,
27.
Travis Etienne, Jalen Waddle, Sun God, J.K. Dobbins, Dak, T.J. Hawkinson, Garrett Wilson, Rondale Moore, Rashad White, Jahan Dotson, Jameson Williams, Robbie Anderson, Jared Goff, Van Jefferson. But okay, we started out really strong and then kind of.
See, I still think
kinda
this could
jumped off
work.
the cliff there.
You have to get, Liam mentioned this yesterday. You have to get a little lucky. Like Van Jefferson could be the lucky play.
Are you saying?
Yeah.
Hang on, Kitchen. Wait, to win a 470,000 person
have to be
contest,
lucky.
you need to get a little lucky.
And I'm saying that Tuttle's mistake could come back to reward him.
I think the mistake was not getting the
tight
better
end at
tight
Robbie
end.
Anderson. I agree. I agree
Yeah.
with that one.
Other than that, I
Retrospectively.
like this.
So what would we have taken? Let's see who came after.
I think you should have taken Jonnu. You should have waited and just take Jonnu.
So it would have been Tunyon, Hunter. Honestly, I'm not. It's
I would have pushed for Everett or Higbee for you there.
Yeah, I take
Yeah.
those guys a lot in that range.
I agree. That would have been the better move, and not auto drafting Van Jefferson probably would have been all right. But when he's facing that team that he's facing in Week 17 and catching touchdowns, it's getting pretty sweet.
It's true.
It is true. Pat, final thoughts for us.
It was a pretty nice draft here. I like the way Tuttle was able to scoop some value. Not too many crazy reaches. Got a triple stack while doing that. Really enjoyed it.
What about your own final thoughts? Like, what do you have going on? Thoughts just
Well,
about...
as I said, we've got the draft stream
thing.
coming up here in like 10 minutes over
Yeah.
on NFL and NBC. Check that out on YouTube.
Okay.
We got
The
Ship
new
Jake
YouTube channel. Yeah.
rolling out tonight. We've got a main event draft. Tomorrow we've got a main event draft. Friday we've got a main event draft. 10 p.m. We're kicking those off. So check that out. We've got more next week as well. We're in it.
When am I going to get invited on for a main event draft? A piece of that action.
wants a piece of that
I had
action.
never. I'm glad you put this out into the world. I didn't even know you were in the season-long managed streets. Do you do waivers? Because that's a big selling point.
Of course I do. I
Yeah?
listen to your guys' ship chasing your waiver stream.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
It actually
Well-
helps me because that's on a Tuesday night, and most waivers are on Wednesday, and it helps. So
Nick is asking, are all the SC drafts going to be streamed? Yes, we literally have, I think, back-to-back nights. All three of them this week are going to be streamed.
Yep.
All of our non-Vegas drafts will be streamed.
Also, our streams are on a Wednesday night, so I don't know what you're talking about there.
or maybe you had one Tuesday night. I don't know. Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we stream on Wednesdays.
For the waiver wire?
The whole reason we do our show at 9:15 on Wednesdays is because FFPC lock is at 10 p.m. on Wednesdays.
It's literally the only reason we chose that time.
You have a taker in the chat. You and Chess Liam doing a main together, ripping the big dog.
Are you going to be in Vegas? Are you coming to Vegas, Kitchen?
No, I didn't get the invite this year. Next year I'm gonna do Vegas, and then I've got maybe a few production companies that would want to film a documentary. That'd be amazing. Pete, final thoughts?
No, it was great, Tuttle, to have you back. It was great to hear some Davis wedding stories. I do worry that the bite-sized philosopher is never going to escape him.
Again, I just did it. This stays in the Swolecast family.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you
right.
can't,
Yeah.
you
stay
can't
right
get
there.
out. That's just for people in here. Okay, Tuttle, final thoughts?
Yeah, it was fun. It was a nice little break from trying to figure out who's going to be the highest owned starting pitcher on tonight's slate.
Yeah.
It's good to get back into the NFL scenes, and it's nice to do a Swolecast where NFTs weren't the main topic of conversation.
You should mint that team you just drafted as an
Give it
NFT.
to-
And put it, yeah.
I do think that your wallet will also act as a trophy case for future big wins. That's my take for NFTs. It's what we call utility. All right, that will do it. And yeah, for those, Liam has his own channel. He's not up to 1,000 subs yet. Yesterday we did a draft, and it was also, someone said it was a master class that I gave him on content. So go and watch that if you would. He said that he will be on whatever Swolecast we need him on except for today's because he's traveling. So shout out to Liam. Shout out to everyone that are doing this draft. And Liam gave me an idea. After this is over, if you're in the chat, just refresh, leave a comment, and of course, leave a like. And we'll see you next week here on the Swolecast on RotoGrinders.com. Peace.